have with us today Mr. Tim Lee, Chairman of the Board of Commissioners for Cobb County. Mr. Lee has held the post since July 2010 and has served the community since November 2002 when he was elected as a District 3 Commissioner of the county by the Atlanta Regional Commission, a post he held for almost 8 years. In May 2009, Mr. Lee was selected as one of the 25 commissioners across the United States to participate in the County Leadership Institute program, a project organized by the National Association of Counties and the Robert F. Wagner Graduate School of Public Service in New York. He has advanced certification from both the University of Georgia and the Association of County Commissioners of Georgia, and in 2004, he graduated from both the Atlanta Regional Commission Regional Leadership Institute and the Chamber of Commerce Leadership's Cobb Class and Honorary Commanders Program. Additionally, Mr. Lee serves on the board of the North Georgia State Fair and the Association of County Commissioners of Georgia as an appointee to the advisory board of the North Central Georgia Law Enforcement Academy. He has also served on the boards of Musk Ministries and the Cobb Symphony Orchestra, where he was once the organization's chairman. Prior to joining the Cobb County Board of Commissioners, Mr. Lee was the Vice President of the Northeast Cobb Homeowners Group, as well as Director of the East Cobb Civic Association. He has worked in advertising and marketing for more than 35 years and owns his own marketing consulting firm, Summit View Marketing Incorporation. In 2010, Mr. Lee announced a vision statement that outlined Cobb County's future for the next 20 years, noting 13 areas of significant focus, including economic and community development, as well as what he considers the Cobb way of decision-making. Today, Mr. Lee will address his vision for Cobb County's future, as well as many contemporary aspects of life, business, and industry throughout the county. Ladies and gentlemen, Cobb County Chairman of the Board of Commissioners, Mr. Tim Lee.
I'll have to get a copy of that bio. That sounds pretty good. Thank you. Good evening. I'm glad to be here. Happy to be here. Always like to begin with the end in mind. With that in mind, what time do we need to be out of here?
A lot of time.
We have a lot of time, but
A lot of time.
it depends on, well, maybe an hour.
When do you guys want to go home? I'm a politician. I can speak for a long, long time. So we'll just get into it. When you guys get bored, tell me you're done and I'll go home, okay? What a wonderful campus you're on. What a wonderful campus. I tried to get here quickly but couldn't do it because you all walk wherever you want to walk, whenever you want to walk, with no regard to the fact that there might be a 4,000-pound vehicle coming at you. So I got very, very good at braking today. I was asked to talk about Cobb County. Does anybody know, I imagine you do, anybody live in Cobb County? I mean, live here, grown up here, and been part of Cobb County, just a couple of you, 3 years. The rest of you guys are transplants. What are the transplants? I'm going to try to make this interactive. So the transplants, what do you think about Cobb versus where you came from? Where did you come from?
I came from Gwinnett.
Gwinnett. So what do you think of Cobb?
I think there's a little more of a town feel here than in Gwinnett.
Or of a community?
Yeah.
Town? Who else? Where did you come from?
California.
California.
Yeah. We looked
Well,
on
welcome
military
home.
bases though. Oh yeah.
We're glad to have you. How does it contrast?
It's a little bit slower, but being that I'm in college, I think that's a good thing because if it was a lot faster, I probably wouldn't be able to keep up. So it's a good thing.
You are in the South.
Yeah.
We do things a little slower. I grew up in the Midwest, outside Chicago, then went to Illinois. I went to New York, where I got my background in marketing and advertising. I've lived in Cobb County only about 23 years. I'm 53 years old, so I've not been here that long compared to a lot of the old folks. How many of you have ever heard of an old Marietta? An OM? Anybody heard of an OM? One OM? An old Marietta. Marietta is somebody that was born and raised in Marietta, and they're considered, if you would, the core of the community. So in other words, if you want to do anything in Cobb County, if you want to be a politician, you want to be a leader, you got to go to what I call the old Marietta group of people that have to okay you. These are people that have been around forever. They knew when 75 was a 4-lane highway. They knew when Barrett Parkway was a dirt road. They knew when most of Cobb County was farmlands. They knew before it was sewer and water. And it wasn't that long ago that it occurred. Do many of you guys know Dr. Scott here from KSU? He wrote a huge book on the history of Cobb, about 4 inches thick. That if everyone ever need to get to sleep at night, it's a good book to read. He's really factual and it's very good and very informative. But Cobb County's come a long way from when it first began. And the thing that put Cobb on the map was the Bell Palmer plant. Are you familiar with the Bell Palmer plant? Bell Palmer plant is now where Lockheed is, Lockheed Aeronautics. Back when Cobb used to be a place for people, the agriculture, cotton specifically, and when the war turned out, General Clay went to Washington, went to New York, and got the folks and got them agreed to bring a Bell Bomber plant to Marietta, and they built it right where the Lockheed plant is now. And ever since then, we've grown tremendously, being a core community to Atlanta. Now, we are part of the Atlanta metropolitan area. We have about just under 700,000 people here. We are larger than some states in the country. Those communities are made up of 6 cities. Marietta is the county seat. There's Ackworth to the north, Kennesaw, Smyrna, Austell, and Powder Springs. Those 6 cities, unlike Gwinnett, those 6 cities make up 25% of the population of Cobb County. And they're each representative with a mayor and council, which is my job as chairman, is to work well with those folks. Because when you drive through town, when you drive through Cobb County, you do not know when you leave Cobb County unincorporated and go into the city of Marietta or into Kennesaw or Ackworth. Well, you should know when you're going to Kennesaw because you're required to have a weapon. I didn't know if you guys knew that, but the city of Kennesaw has an ordinance requiring you to have a weapon. So anyway, we have 6 cities. I am the chairman, as DeVille said, of the Cobb County, the unincorporated Cobb. Unincorporated Cobb, and that's the 75% of the folks that live outside the incorporated cities, the 6 cities of Cobb County. Now, Cobb County has a county manager form of government. All right, is anybody from DeKalb County? So you're familiar with the CEO form of government, which is, well, it's different. Let me start with the city of Atlanta. We've heard of Mayor Kasim Reed, right? Mayor Kasim Reed, every single employee in the city of Atlanta works for Kasim Reed. Now, you know there's city council people, right? Those city council people may have 1 or 2 staff people to work for them, but Mayor Reed controls the entire budget. Now, he has to take that budget to the city council and they have to approve it. But basically, it's like I have all the money and I come to you as a city council person and I say, I'd like for you to approve this budget. You say, well, I'm not interested in approving it. Fine, I'm going to then eliminate that pet project you had. I'm going to take out the funding for that other project you wanted, and I'm going to, and eventually work the group until I have a majority. And if you don't support me, you don't get money. And how he controls the city council is he controls the money. And he's in charge of the city as a result of that. In DeKalb County, the CEO, Vernon Jones, is the man that makes the decision where it goes. Now, he has to go to the commissioners to get approval, but he basically can do what he wants there. He's responsible for it. In Cobb County, we have the county manager's form of government, where we have 5 district commissioners, or 5 commissioners, 1 chairman, 4 district. The county is divided into 4 based on population numbers. Chairman is elected countywide. We set policy, we set direction, and we give basically where we want we give the vision of where we want to take the county. The county manager, in this case, Mr. Hankerson, is then, he is considered, if you would, like a CEO of an organization. So we, the Board of Commissioners, is like a board of directors for an organization. Mr. Hankerson is the county manager, like a CEO or president. His job is to manage the 4,000 employees of Cobb County to execute what we want him to do. He cannot spend money on his own. He cannot make decisions on his own. Everything he does has to come back through the board for our approval. If you go to cobbcounty.org and go to TV23, we have a video on demand. You can go watch some of our business meetings and some of our zoning meetings. As you watch, we deliberate issues, discuss what's in front of us, and then we have to vote on it. Now, it used to be, when I first got elected as chairman, one of my priorities was always try to get 5 votes. I always wanted a 5-0 vote, no matter what the issue was. I want unity. I want unity. As I've come along, I realized I just need 3 votes. And if I'm one of them, I just need 2 other people that agree with me, and I'm quitting.